Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Glass Blown Open Day 1 Nightly Recap. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, along with Johnny V, and we're at the Bourbon Cowboy.
We are. There's bull riding here tonight. We have drinks. We've got Bobby Brown. I've seen Jordan Castro, Rebecca Cox. There's a lot of people here tonight.
But I heard bull riding.
I'm going to see some bull riding later.
And that's happening here at the Bourbon Cowboy. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to make sure that everything's good to go, and we want to double check that you guys are hearing and seeing everything all right. Johnny, I know, came in a little early with a test, so some of you got a special treat for the SmashBoxxTV testing earlier.
Yeah, that looks, Rick's just showing me the shot that we have. Things look pretty good right now. It was a little bit of a struggle to get this set up tonight. The place, you were here last year.
Yep.
But now the place where you were set up, they put a pool table there.
Something like that.
And it's really busy here tonight. I mean, really busy. And and so what we have is we had to unplug a video game machine. You'll see a foosball table behind us. We've just got a lot of stuff going on. We had to quickly set up, and we were doing a little testing, and I didn't realize we were live. But you might have got a little special love from me.
Well, either way, we're here. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll kind of recap some of the things that we saw that took place today from a broadcast perspective, and then from there I'll jump into probably having some conversation with some players, promoters, maybe spectators, whoever suits our fancy for stepping inside the SmashBoxx, I guess. Yeah,
I think do we want to talk about the broadcast right away?
Real quickly, let's first and foremost talk a little bit about the broadcast. I'd love to see, tell us if you watched it earlier today. Two reasons. One, we'd like to know how it looked, how it sounded, some of your feedback. And two, we'd like to tell you you need other things to do than just watch us all day.
Well,
no, we appreciate it.
I'll start on the technical side. I see someone says, yeah, it was choppy. Yes. One of the things we realized is with 1,600 people in Emporia and a lot of them at the country club, the cell signals that as we always say, that we tested days ago, unfortunately, not as good as what we put out there. So what we did right before we got here, which is why we were a little late, we went to AT&T. We've upgraded our system. We're going to plug in some additional modems tomorrow, so we're hoping to get rid of the choppiness. One of the things that I know people noticed was that it was set to 480 for some people, not 720. And that is because that's all on me. When I hit the stream button, because I'm on a mobile system, I did not check all the settings, and it was set to 480 by default for some reason, not the 720. I stopped the stream. I restarted it at 720. So I think some people did get 720, but a lot of people were stuck at 480 for whatever reason. I've made those adjustments. We should be better off tomorrow. And I made a couple little tweaks here and there on the system that I think is going to really help us out tomorrow.
Well, and right now we're getting a little feedback as to whether or not how good the stream is here. We were all locked down on a really solid Wi-Fi system, and then, of course, it didn't necessarily stay that way as soon as we went live. So we're going to do the best we can. We want to make sure that this is coming through loud and clear for everyone. We are here at the Bourbon Cowboy. We are using ValueNet. We want to thank them. We know they're hustling around. And just about everywhere we're going to be, they try to bump up and work with the capabilities in terms of the Wi-Fi setup. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's just because we got a lot of things going on.
And I'll say this, they can only help so much. They are in control of the local internet, but they can't control our local Wi-Fi. Whoever's the bar we're at, the Bourbon Cowboy, thanks to them for setting us all up with a lot of stuff. We're using their Wi-Fi. I did a speed test before that. We got like 70 up and down, and then suddenly it kind of dropped, and then it went up. So you might see a little bit of freezing. I've got it recording locally, so in case things kind of go on the down, we will make sure that a really good copy is uploaded for everybody.
And follow-up, some people were really anxious or excited to find out in terms of the audio podcast the other night. Johnny is also compressing that to put it out so everyone can be consuming it from an audio side for our regular podcast from Tuesday night. And then these will also get released likely either late night or more than likely the next morning, so that anyone that wants to consume this from an audio side will be able to do so as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yes, so the podcast from Tuesday night, that's on me again. The place where we're at, the hotel, is atrocious as far as the Wi-Fi signal. So I had planned on doing one thing, and things got out of hand, as they do here at the GBO. and I did not get a chance to upload. The Patreon supporters did get it immediately. I was able to get it out to them, but I was not able to actually push it out to everybody else yet. I will get on that tonight, more than likely, and we'll make sure that everybody has the Tuesday night podcast, which was a lot of fun. We had Sarah Hokum. We had David Berglund. We had Tina Stenitis. And finally, James Conrad.
Yes, it was. It was really good. Ryan Pilcher.
Oh, Ryan
here.
Pilcher in the house.
Ryan, get in here.
Hey, Ryan, come here. Come here, Ryan. A lot of you have heard us mention Ryan Pilcher. No, over on this side, buddy. Ryan Pilcher, who you are a Patreon supporter, right, Ryan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, we knew you were.
Patreon supporter. And beer supporter, too.
Ryan.
Any drinks?
Well, I unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, I have a drink right now, but when this gets low,
You let me know. I'll be here.
I will let you know. So I want to give a shout out to Ryan Pilcher. Thanks a lot for being a big Patreon supporter and a huge Smash Eating fan. We've seen him all around. Try to give a shout out to anyone. If you're a Patreon supporter and you're at GBO, come on out. I guarantee you'll give you some camera time in the next day or two.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. All right. So, Ryan from the Wisconsin-Illinois area, thank you so much for being such a good supporter. Look, he's wearing his SmashBox shirt. I don't know if you can get any better than that. If you come down in your SmashBox shirt, you're definitely going to have to get on camera to say hi to all of us. So.
Oh, certainly.
All right, so from a technical side, those are some of the things that we saw today. Of course, we want to grow and improve on any of those challenges. On my end, it was unique having being back in the studio, doing that exclusively with Robert McCall. It was a lot of fun. Some of you have vocalized it, and some of you haven't. And well, the first thing that I'll say is tomorrow you're going to hear a little bit more breathing room. You're not going to hear us breathing, but you're going to hear a little bit more natural sound. You'll hear and watch the play unfold a little bit on its own. It's really easy, and we know that. Well, I'll say we know that it's easy when you're not paying attention as much to having to be quiet during a putt or a tee off. It becomes very easy to just simply talk over some of that stuff. And I think we know and recognize that tomorrow we'll back off a little bit, let a little bit more of the action kind of do the talking for you, and it won't be as much constant chatter. Both Robert and I will work on that for you, and I think that'll give you an all-around better experience.
And I was going to ask, and I'm going to shock this on you because we haven't talked about it, surprisingly. This is your first time in a booth with Smashbox. You were in a booth with Disc Golf Planet years ago, but now you have access to all the different shots. You see everything that's going on the field, as opposed to just what the viewers see when with the old Disc Golf Planet setup. What did you think? What is your feeling about that? Because not being on the course is a completely different feeling, and you can't quite see as much. You don't get a lot of, as we've said, the downside is you don't get a lot of the I want to call it the localities of being there, hearing the players, talking with them, seeing where a disc lands. You had to rely a lot on our wonderful cameramen, Gary O, Rick Couchane, and Chad Inman. What were your feelings being in a booth as opposed to being out on the course?
Well, we've talked extensively about some of the pros and the cons to being out on the course as opposed to being in this booth, and I feel like I experienced quite a few of the things that we expected. One challenge we had today is we in the booth, both Robert and myself, didn't hear any of the on-course noise or sounds whatsoever. So if there was a chain out or someone hit a tree, I mean, of course we were relying exclusively on the screen as opposed to hearing any of those sounds. So none of those were piped into us. We're hoping to have access to that as the week goes on. So that's one drawback or something that created a new challenge today. Also, just not knowing exactly what happens when someone walks away from a shot. You know, I'm usually watching an Eagle McMahon miss or make a putt or whatever the case might be, or just throw OB or just come back inbounds. And you guys are seeing where the shots are going, and I'm usually also able to visualize what their emotions are and talk about that. You lose some of that because we're seeing exactly what you're seeing. We're seeing the camera and what the shots are being provided. So that was one of the drawbacks. Also, I'm trying to do as much as I can, as is Robert. We still want to be very informative and give you as much information as possible. So trying to keep up on UDisc, trying to hit a couple of buttons here and there, but also then pay attention because now there's multiple cameras to look at it has its advantages, but it also has a few of those disadvantages that your mind is now busy just in a different way than it was earlier. So lots of pros, lots of cons. Overall, I enjoyed it.
You walked a lot less.
I did.
You got to sit in a nice comfy booth near Robert, myself, and Anthony at the DD warehouse. Now, today we had 2 cameras on MPO featured card and 1 on what you would traditionally call a chase card, the card right behind the lead card. Now, today's day 1, there were no lead and chase cards, but you get what I'm saying. So the reason was we sent our cameraman, Gary, out to the course where the FPO were playing out Swope, and we had said that we were fairly certain that there wasn't good cell coverage, but we had gotten some mixed results, so we wanted to double check. We sent our guy out 25 minutes to the course, booted up, tested out, said, yeah, no, it's really bad, come on back. We maybe owe him some gas money, Terry, but you know, as many of you know, we're here at the GBO. This is a dynamic disc event. We want to make sure that DD is recognized at every possibility. We didn't have a lot of chances jumping between a lot of different cards. Not a lot. The 2 different cards and the booth. Kind of crazy day.
Yeah, there was certainly a question as to how long the round would actually take. And with us starting at 3 p.m., having the last card of the day, thinking that some of the groups might get backed up a little bit, the backups were actually pretty tolerable, relatively short, no more than 1 group at any point. And with that, we stuck to almost a 3-hour round. And that's 100% attributed to the reworking of the course, to the flow of the course, and everything that they're doing out there to make this experience better. So hats off to DD, hats off to Eric McCabe, hats off to Doug Bierkus and the whole staff for doing everything that they did to make the course flow that much quicker. Like I said, you might miss out on a few commercials when we have a quicker round like that.
Can't argue with that. We're seeing some people say that we got some lag. We're going to take a look. I'm going to take one quick look at something. All right, the lag is not on my system, so it might be a lag with the internet here. But like I said, we are doing a local recording of this, so I will make sure that a very solid, it's karaoke night tonight. So,
sweet.
Oh, yeah. They asked us.
No one ever.
We took a little tour of the place, and they were asking us, where would you like to sit tonight? She's like, would you like to sit on the stage behind the karaoke people? And I said, oh, so there's no karaoke night? She says, no, there's karaoke. You would just be behind them on the stage. And I looked at her, and I was like, I don't think that's a great idea. What do you think? Do you think it would have been interesting?
It certainly would have been. As we know, there's some stars that need to be born here tonight in Emporia. I just don't think we're going to be the ones to discover them.
Now, I'm going to check real quick. I'm married. You're married?
Yep.
If you are at the GBO and you're a single male, this is the place to be tonight. I did a little tour, and let me just say, it would be worthwhile. It would be worth your time to come down here to enjoy some of the beer and local people. There's pool, there's karaoke, all sorts of fun stuff.
All right. Well, it's all going down again. We're here. Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's one thing when the person that's singing karaoke is talented. It's another thing when the crowd is talented. All right.
I'm just going to say this, maybe tonight, instead of being Smashbox doing a disc golf podcast, we might have to be karaoke.
Well, what I think we need to do is get Doug Bierkus and a number of others up there on the stage. So at least they're disc golfers that we know that are getting all worked up.
So let's talk about a little bit about what happened today, what we saw on the course. Again, like I said, our lead card was Paul Macbeth. I almost said Nate, but Simon Lizotte, Eagle McMahon, and who am I missing? Ricky Wysocki. Wow. And I'm sorry, guys. This is crazy. So we saw those guys play, and we heard a lot of feedback from people saying, oh, why are these guys on here? I don't want to see these guys. We're going to see them later in the week. We saw some people say, this is my dream card. This is the card I've always wanted to see. And like kind of we predicted, most of those guys finished in the top 7 or 8. In fact, Eagle and Simon are going to be on our lead card tomorrow as well. We saw two I think 2 10s on Drew Gibson.
And Grady Shue.
And Grady Shue, thank you. And then tomorrow, so it's going to be Drew Gibson, Grady Shue, Simon Lizotte, and Eagle McMahon.
Yeah, very talented group, of course, opening up the tournament, all shooting the 10 under par. We're excited to bring that action to you tomorrow. We're also going to be looking at the women's side, where we saw a great battle unfold. Paige Pierce, at least via UDisc Live, Paige Pierce, Rebecca Cox seemed to be going back and forth. At one point, Rebecca Cox had a 2-stroke lead over Paige Pierce. Paige kicked it into a hyper speed or turbo booster during the last 3 holes. I think she went like eagle birdie to finish out.
I think she eagled, was it a 470-foot throw, I believe, or something along those lines?
Something ridiculous like that. Eric McCabe was talking about how impressive the shot was. So to see Paige kick in the turbo boosters at the very last moment, she comes out, pulls out ahead of Rebecca Cox, but plenty of golf to be had on both sides of the courses, both men and women. But very exciting to see Rebecca. So Paige shoots a 53, has a 1-stroke lead over Rebecca Cox. Lauren Butler shoots a 57 and has she comes in at 1 under par. And then tying for 4th, Lisa Fakis, Andrea Eads, Nicole Bradley, and Emily Beach, all in a tie for 4th place. And I think the much bigger story, and congratulations, great play, there's no doubt about it. I think the big takeaway is we're missing so many of the names that you normally see on
Val
that lead
Jenkins,
card.
Katrina Allen, Elaine King,
Sarah Hokum.
Well, Sarah Hokum's in 8th.
Correct, but not in that top card we traditionally see.
Which is funny because we've seen in the past, Paige has, I do want to say, she has not played up to her ability in the first round. Paige seems to like to make a little comeback in the 2nd and 3rd or 4th rounds. It doesn't appear that she's going to need to in this event. There's a lot of golf to play, but ultimately we will see whether Paige can now play from a different aspect, whether she can actually play from ahead at the Glass Blown Open as opposed to playing from behind.
Well, it should be a great battle for sure. Nick Fit, thank you. Booyah, as you say, for the super chat. We appreciate it. All right, I think we're ready to get Bobby Brown.
Let's get Bobby Brown here on the mic.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
He was just about to do karaoke, so
I'm not sure if we're saving him or saving us, but we'll get Bobby Brown to join us and welcome him in. One cool daddy, Slick Breeze, Bobby Brown. How we doing tonight, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
It was about a year ago. You and I were up on the stage, not singing.
Yes.
But we had a really good talk. In fact, one of my favorite conversations probably of 2017. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I remember that was a good conversation. Absolutely.
First day is in the books for the most part. I know there's still work to be done by all of your crew, by Anthony and Danny and the rest of the media crew and so many others. The work's not over. But first day of play is in the books. What did you see? What did you experience from any different perspective out there?
Well, this year was actually a little bit different for me. In fact, I'm not sure how to handle it because I have 2 wonderful, awesome guys that help me. I'm sure you guys know Anthony from DG Weekly and Danny Lindahl. So they had assignments of things that I normally would do. So it kind of felt weird not to be at everything, but they were out there and they filmed some of the super class.
Are we doing karaoke?
Yes, we are going to do karaoke, lady. So, yes, I got challenged to karaoke, so I got to do some karaoke, ladies. Danny went out to some of the C tiers. He's saying everybody's having a great time. Anthony was working with Steve Hill, PDGA, doing some stuff, so he got a lot of work done. I went out to the country club. I know we keep saying it over and over again, but the weather has just been amazing, and I think it's because just being so fearful from last year, and I don't want to make the weather always our topic, but it was a fear of ours. I mean, it's a big fear because we can control a lot of things, but obviously we can't control the weather, but it turned out to be wonderful. The country club looks amazing. People seem to be out there, and I knew that the shift would turn to the competition, and that's what it seemed to do is like everybody's having a good time. how do I get there? What do I do? And now today is just the competition day, and I see people out there competing. I see people posting on our mobile app how they did bad, how they did good, but they're just having a great time.
Well, and I think you bring up a really good point. It's easy for us, all of us, the players and the media, to somewhat dwell or harp on the weather. And fair enough, the weather was kind of the biggest story last year. And I think at any event, when the weather is miserable, it's easy to really dwell on that because that kind of helps shape and mold the event and a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas and what ifs. Especially last year when it was cut even a round short, which is almost unprecedented. So I definitely think, in all fairness, that yin and yang there, in all fairness, you have to talk about this. This weather is gorgeous, and it's great for scoring. It's great for the players. It's great for media. It's great for spectators. Like, everything seems to be dialed in, and I really see in the forecast nothing but beautiful weather for the next 2 days. Yeah, it's going to be great.
And what's really fantastic is that I had heard, from secondhand, that a lot of people from PDJ saw the crowd that was out today watching, and they were saying that is the biggest crowd they'd ever seen on a day one of a big event. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings, what Saturday brings. It's just going to be. I'm gonna try. I might get in trouble. I'm gonna try to sneak some drone shots because that's just going to look so amazing with all those people out there. But we'll see.
As long as you're flying it, not me.
Right.
I have faith. I have faith in that. No, it was a great crowd, a great gallery. We were talking about that earlier on the broadcast today. That one of the advantages of having the size of an event at 1,600 people, the majority of them are done by the time that lead card is on hole 6 or on hole 9 or wherever, that featured card today. They're done, and a lot of them. Some of them are going to go to their hotel and relax and watch it maybe on SmashBox, but a lot of them hopefully come on out. Like, we love viewers, but we love on-site viewers as much or more. We want those big galleries and crowds.
And when I talk to people on their list of why they go to a big event, that's one of the reasons, is to go to watch firsthand these pros, these top guys making these amazing shots.
Well, we love seeing it. And dare I say, tomorrow, country club, possibly bigger galleries, bigger crowds. What will be your objective tomorrow for going out and capturing something? Is there anything in particular?
I think I want to, because we're always trying to grow the sport. We're always trying to grow the Glass One Open. I want to try to capture that feeling of just mass crowds watching the sport, having a good time. I want to continue to make sure people are having a good time. So that's, I want to somehow make sure I capture that. Selfishly, I want advertisers and sponsors to look at that and see, wow, it is getting big. It is getting something that I want to invest in. So, and it's something that you and I have always talked about. There are a lot of.
Tina Stenitis stopping by, saying hi again. The crowd.
The way we're gonna keep growing, and the way companies make great products, but you got to let people know. And disc golf is a product to advertisers. It's a product in a sense that they want a channel, they want a place to have people see their products, and we want to make sure that our product, which is disc golf, is very attractive to people. And that's going to come from us capturing all that.
Well, and something that's really exciting, and it's not even coming from an egotistical perspective, but you walk into a place here like the Bourbon Cowboy, there are a few dozen TVs on the walls, and every third TV is showing the broadcast from today.
Yeah, there's a baseball game and then disc golf on TV.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And there's not a lot of communities, not a lot of places around the country where that experience can happen.
Right.
But Emporia, the way they embrace it, the way they love disc golf, they know disc golf, as the billboard says. Right. It's just awesome. So it's a really special feeling when you're here. So tonight, you probably stopped over at the poker game.
Yes,
I went
by the
that
poker.
Was taking place.
Art Palafox has done an amazing job putting that together. I asked him a question. He said last year he topped out at 179. He believes he's going to easily hit 198 players.
Wow!
So that's awesome. And he was switching things up. I saw him taking people's poker chips off the table and then throwing more poker chips. Something about surviving that long, so now you get more poker chips. He's got like Ranger bags, sniper bags, Easy Go bags, all kinds of discs and gift cards. I mean, he just really does it up. It's like an event in itself, that poker party. So I was trying to get some time lapse of it. Hopefully that turned out well, but yeah, it was exciting over there.
Well,
and then, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, and then next door was the vendor meeting.
Okay.
That's where Jamie Rushko and his sales team, they meet with the vendors. And again, that's another extra thing that we do for Glass Bowling. We extend our invitation to the vendors to come out so we can kind of have one-on-one. We want to listen to problems or things that they're having with our process so we can kind of improve. And so they were over there having dinner, and I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a neat thing that we've done in years past, and I think it is very helpful for the people that sell our products to be able to talk to us one-on-one and let us know what's working and what's not working.
Well, and you spoke of it when you say the poker party kind of is an event in itself. I feel like as this tournament has continued to grow and thrive and expand, everything is a little bit of an event in itself. You know, we talk about things like the putting competition and then the finals. We talk about the mini golf or the bowling on Monday night that's free. Or, you know, when you guys used to do free movies as part of the sponsorship. All of the different things that happen here are like self-contained fun zones in their self. And, you know, and the beer releases and the parties and the bonfire that's going to take place tomorrow night. They all are components of the tournament which make for the big GBO event. But each one of those in itself as standalone events are just so amazing, along with all the C-tiers and flex starts.
And I was thinking of something, and so I don't know if this will be not really a tangent, but maybe something that we can bounce back and forth. But I had a thought today because someone posted something on Facebook, and I'll just call out, and some of you viewers probably on Facebook know the post I'm talking about. But someone actually asked, "Is the GBO a glorified A tier?" And I mean, obviously, I take it personal because I put a lot of blood, sweat. A lot of us here at DD put and even you guys coming out, working long hours. You guys do the best you can, and you do everything you can to make us look good, and you accomplish that. But I started thinking, yes,
it is.
Yes, we talk big about it. We're proud of it, and a lot of people think, you know, I always hate the sentiment of, because we're positive and because we push it and it's just a big DD ad, but you got to think about the indirect things that happen, because you know, we're doing this big thing, we make it a spectacle, and then what happens? People come here, right? They spend money at the establishments. The establishments are happy. Okay, we take care of the town. Then the Chamber of Commerce sees that. And then I know other Chamber of Commerce are contacting our Chamber of Commerce, wondering, how do you do this disc golf stuff? And that's going to make it grow in your area. So yeah, we're going to pump it, we're going to push it, because we know that that's going to have, you know, a wave effect all around. And so it just bugs me when people try to pick on the events because we seem to be so proud of it. Well, yeah, because we understand. But we understand the outside effect.
Correct.
And I think people need to realize that and recognize that.
How's that saying go? High tide raises all boats?
There you go.
Something like that. I mean, I cannot agree more as a guy who's run an Am Worlds many years ago and run hundreds of tournaments. When we can look at other people in the industry and say, look at this, look at the $2 or $3 million of economic impact that is brought to the GBO and is brought to Emporia. Because what's going to happen is, and I swear to you people, this does happen. I know for a fact it does. The mayor of Emporia or the Park and Rec department of Emporia, when they go to the annual mayor's meeting or their annual Park and Rec meeting, and someone says, they're standing around and there's a bunch of people and there's one guy or a group of people hemming and hawing saying, yeah, we've been hearing about this disc golf thing. We don't know. Thank you. We don't know if we want to be on board with it or not. We don't know if it's a good thing or not. And then the mayor or the Park and Rec director says, here's what we do in Emporia.
Right.
Like, there's no better sales pitch or selling point than when that peer is able to then give their stamp of approval.
Exactly.
And I've seen this happen, and I've heard it happen because I go to some of those meetings, and country club owners and the people that benefit, the bars and all these people, they just like disc golfers, they talk amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And when someone says, yeah, I don't know if I want this disc golf thing in my town or in my city or if I should support it, you can't argue with the numbers.
You can't.
Everybody wins here. So,
and I don't care how much you love disc golf and you think disc golf is the most amazing thing to you and your 5 friends, to people like the mayors and decision makers like that, they get bombarded so much it literally comes down to the numbers, not the feels. It comes down, it's a numbers game.
Well, and so I'll say it on your behalf as well and echo those thoughts. You know, I saw the same thread. Is it a glorified A tier? Well, you know, for starters, for all non-pros, it is an A tier, technically, and it is glorified, and it should be. In every positive sense, it should be. And I said this the other night. In Wisconsin, I heard a few people like, oh, the glass bone's so great. And I was like, yeah, someday it's on my bucket list. And then I arrived. I came here 3, 4, 5 years ago for my first time. And dang it, I will tell you, it's a week on my calendar that I hopefully expect to be here to work with you, and I want to be here because it's so much fun. Absolutely. And there's so many good things about it. So
I want to put out to the listeners, if I got a few more minutes on here, give me, what questions do you have from my side of things? If any questions, let us know here, and I'll answer them. I'll keep it real, like you know. I like to keep it real.
Yeah, he does.
I'll keep it real with you.
If you've got something for Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, the smartest half of the Disc Golf Answer Man.
Well, the smartest third, I guess, since we have 3.
I give you half.
Oh, you get? Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, they get the other
half.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, you're. As the questions come in, I'll try to do my best to relay them. Working a little bit with a challenging internet to some degree. Why did Cale go to the tourney in Wisconsin instead of? Cale's not a big traveler. I'll just say that. I know Cale personally. He's really good. He dominates the Minnesota and the Midwest. If he traveled to every event around the country, he'd be in the top 5 every single tournament. But Cale's just not like that. He doesn't like to fly, so he only drives, and Cale's got a lot of stuff going on in Minnesota, so that's probably why. All right, what else do we got? Best tournament of the year,
yeah, someone said, the dude said something about the glass bone would be great if they didn't cap the FBO 40.
Oh, there's a story there.
Well, now, I don't know this, you got to go to Doug for the expertise, and you obviously would school me on how divisions and things work. But I'm going to tell you from my perspective that I know of is that I am all about growing the sport for women, for anybody, right? We want to do everything we can. But what I don't understand is that people harp on tournaments. And I only know because, based on my workings within DD, that we had to shut down a division because not enough women signed up.
Yep.
So it feels like kind of I don't want to call it a vicious circle or cycle, but, you know, to pat ourselves on the back, this is the largest, right? The largest female, or at least one of the biggest.
One of the largest because of a few late withdrawals, but you guys are in the top 2 or 3 for largest female.
So we did what we could
tournament
to get as many women out here. But I remember having a conversation with Doug at some point, I can't remember where it was, where we had to close. We were like, if we don't get another woman signed up, we're going to have to close this division. And my thinking was, wait, don't we get harped on to bring more women, and here we do it? Now, it's not like I'm blaming women. I'm just saying that there's certain, yes, we've got to work toward that, but you know, to say it would be better if they didn't cap it at, 40. Well, there's reasons things like that happen. There's reasons they happen, not because we want to limit the female, but we've also, even though we want to bring females in, we also have to look at the overall picture, because we have to have the tournament survive on its own so that we can invite more women.
So really what it comes down to, and I will say this from a TD perspective, and I will say it till I'm blue in the face, the women need to sign up for every spot that's available.
Right.
And if it surges, then it can be talked about. But the women need to sign up, because what happens at a ton of events, and I know this for a fact, an event will allocate or say, okay, we're going to have 8 or 12 or 16 or 20 spots for women. And then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks out, and there's 6 women signed up, but you've allocated 20.
And then you've got like how many men waiting to get in?
And you've got 63 men waiting to play.
Exactly.
And so they'll say, okay, you had 20, only 6 are signed up. We're going to make 2 foursomes. We're going to cap it at 8.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like,
we've limited the women.
You've limited the women, or, oh my gosh, there's 7 women that want to play. I just have to say, sign up. There are so many tournament directors. I would say like 90+% are more than willing to have the largest women's fields ever, but they have to sign up. And at a certain point, those spots have to move on and be available to other divisions, men or women. They have to get pushed on.
Right.
And that's what happens most often.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't challenges. They exist for the women to get more exposure for them, get them out there, get them sign up. It's out there, but don't be so quick to point the finger at the wrong people.
All right. Let's see if we've got anything else on here. There was a question about, do you know anything about Nico? The last I see from Zach, which is the most informative version I've seen so far, I know his round was +2. It was definitely like jumping off the screen at me as an anomaly. But Zach Pajek says, Nico arrived at the tee 3 minutes prior to tee off, from what I heard from Matt at UDisc, jumped out of the car, ran to the tee, then ran to the practice basket, made 4 putts, then ran to the tee and through.
I hadn't heard of that.
More than I know.
I have no idea.
It sounds like bad time management is what it sounds like.
Right.
If that's all true, that sounds like bad time management on Nico's part. I'll say this. After what would have been after his round, I walked by the practice basket at the country club, and Nico was practice putting. And I'm thinking, like, you were done a long time ago. So clearly something was eating away at him, meaning like he was standing there getting his practice reps in.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know any more stories.
Yeah, without knowing
right
anything,
now.
I can't speculate on anything.
All right. From what I understand, they aren't even playing the same courses. Yep, that's a women's conversation. The women are playing different courses. What's for dinner? Did you have time for dinner is the better question.
So I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. When I went to go film the poker and capture some images of the vendor meeting, they had some leftover food, so I grabbed it and I was able to eat it there.
All right.
And it was actually pretty good. It was some steak and mashed potatoes.
I was going to guess some kind of roast beef. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was roast beef. I'm sorry, yes.
Seriously,
it was like a roast beef and like a chicken. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Are we going to have this type of coverage for the Great Lakes Open? The Great Lakes Open is a pro tour event. There's some conversation about that, but you're probably going to see your traditional women spliced into the men and then post-production for the women. And real quick, shout out. Jomez was on a card today.
Yes.
Central Coast had a card of men today at the noon card. And then Central Coast also covered the women's feature card with Rebecca Cox and Paige Pierce.
How about that Rebecca Cox, though? You did really good.
Yes, we talked about that a little bit. She's just 1 stroke off the lead right now.
Someone said something about a challenge. Tyler, I'm not sure what challenge you're referring to.
Bakerfield. I think some people are asking, are there any things going on Sunday?
Sunday, there's actually the second annual Juniors Challenge that's happening. We're going to have, I can't remember how many juniors are signed up, but it's kind of a precursor to, building up the junior worlds. It's going to be here. So there's the Junior Challenge. Getting kind of stared at off the screen here. So there's a Junior Challenge that, again, it's going to be nice weather. Last year it kind of rained, but we had some kids out there having fun, and this year will be even better. I believe there's going to be a little clinic for them as well.
Sweet.
So we kind of make it like a mini GBO for them, try to get them to have some fun and stuff like that. I know last year, I'm sure we'll do the same. We had like a little pizza party for them as well. So good stuff on Sunday for there. And then I believe Jomez and Central Coast are going to have some sort of challenge.
Yes.
Maybe that's where we're
probably, and we've already called them out. They're too scared to invite me and SmashBoxx
or me
and you and the rest of the Answer Man. Just scared.
All
right. I'll keep reading down here. Who will last longer on the bull, you or me?
I don't know. Who would? Last year Jamie Mosier challenged me, but I was too. I'm just afraid my back will go out.
I think, did I go up against Steven Story maybe, and he fell off literally within a second.
Who did?
I think it was Steve Story was challenged, and he fell off in like 1 second, and then I stayed on, I don't know how long, and then when he went again, he got a mulligan apparently.
Yeah.
Then he barely beat me, but I don't know. It'd be a good one. Any chance of covering the up-and-coming advanced players to get slipped into our next heroes? No.
I might need to answer
You
this.
answer that. That's the boss man, Jeremy Rusko. We need him here on the show. Tell him.
Hello?
Ali Axmark.
I missed it.
Thank you so much, Ali Axmark, again, sending us some Swedish kroners. I don't know how much that is. I think we tried to look that up. Swedish SEK to dollar. I don't know. It's like $10 million probably. We appreciate it. Sweet. Enough for a beverage. Thank you so much, Ali. All right. Playing you in the Dimax Challenge. Is there one?
Oh, I don't know if that's the same guy. Somebody talked to me about a challenge. I'm not sure. Yeah, sure.
All right, great job, DD. Amber and I are saying hi to Bobby.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Amber. You know what? I tell you what. I love doing what I do. I love creating. I doing that. But when someone comes up to me, I've had a few people come up to me, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm letting you guys know when then people want to say, I came over here just to say hi to you.
Yep.
My heart melts. That's just so awesome to be recognized like that. So thank you, Tim and Amber.
I agree. Joe Revere taking down all the Flatlanders. Did any of McCabe's round get filmed? It did. Central Coast, I believe, was on that card.
That was our feature. That was something we tried that we saw at one of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I think it was Waco, Texas, because in the past we would do the feature card for the round one, and then we would do the second card, which it's not really technically the chase card in round one, but it was a second card. And I thought, well, it was kind of neat to see it go off in the middle. So we tried that today. So yes, Eric McCabe, Chris Clemens. Do you remember who you said it was? Chris Clemens, Eric McCabe.
Honestly, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Who was on McCabe's card? Who was on McCabe's card today? Okay. Thanks, AJ Risley. You're fired.
It'll be great. So yes, it was filmed. Does anybody know the release date of the Getaway? I had my hands on a Getaway.
I thought it was supposed to be this week.
I had my hands on one a couple days ago.
Was it the hybrid? Are they saying Terry?
I hope not.
Probably some other Terry. I don't know the exact date. I could have swore we were going to release it either this week or right after the GBO. I know that the players got to stamp their own hybrid Getaway. We gave away a Biofusion Getaway, I think, in the Bowling Green player pack. Or we made them available. And then I know that the buyback stores have gotten special edition Getaways.
Okay.
All right.
So you'll see more of that. Sexton and Germ were on the card. Okay.
There we go.
Nice job, McCabe. We may get McCabe in here if he shows up at some point. Give away a basket. What a great idea, Cody.
Send us
have
one.
Yeah,
we'll
one
be happy to give away your basket.
We'll gladly do that. Late to the party, Scott says. Any reason you couldn't do the booth at the course like the PGA? Well, except for the $25 billion the PGA is worth. Other than that, that's a simple question to address. Real quick, before you do. He's saying at the country club is nice, but you could have players stop by. Technology. Yeah. Then I think there's an equal sign technology, equal sign cost. So that's why we're at the dynamic distribution warehouse as opposed to doing it right at the country club. But go ahead and answer.
Well, no, that's why. The other reason is that the country club had invested a lot of money in remodeling, and it looks so nice. If you were here last year, you remember it looked kind of had an 80s look to it almost. It was that ready for a renovation, and they renovated, and it looks so nice. And because of that, they were sort of behind schedule and things like that. When we when we approached them with the idea, I kind of got the sense that they were going to we'll figure out some place for them. We'll try to figure out something for them. And I thought, nah, I don't want to
force it.
I don't want to. We'll figure out something for them. I'd rather just use the DD Studios that we knew was ready to go.
Which hats off to you guys, being able to just kind of sit down at a nice table, the Answer Man table. All those Answer Man dollars.
I know.
Just be able to sit down there, have the lighting, have electricity, have a great internet, if the cellular signal would just cooperate a little better, everything should be super smooth. So look for some improvements out there for sure tomorrow.
Someone says tacos over
yeah,
hoagies?
tacos or hoagies,
Oh,
which
tacos.
is better.
And then on top of that, Torchy's tacos.
Hey-oh.
You've had Torchy's, right?
I have not.
Are you kidding me?
Where are they
Texas.
available?
I know for sure Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I sorry, I haven't.
Are you do you? I mean, I'm assuming you like
enjoy
tacos.
tacos, yeah.
Now these are kind of like fusion tacos, where like the big one, Lucid tacos.
We're talking tacos here.
Tacos. They have at during Waco, 2 years in a row, they have what's called the Roscoe, and it's basically a tortilla with the waffle, a fried chicken finger, a over easy egg, bacon, and then syrup. I'm telling you, the Roscoe. Tell them. So good, so good.
Okay, it sounds good. All right, Jesse James, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. I'm playing Rec. Maybe we'll get carded together. Chris Clemens was also on the card. Awesome. Smashbox, could you please buy a glass of Radius Slight Headwind Round 2 for the FPO Golf Star Tina Stenitis with the money you super chatted? Yes, we'll take care of her. We appreciate that. Country Disc Golf, how you doing, Matt? Says I had tacos for supper tonight.
Torchy's taco Willet Heiser.
And do Torchy's tacos
Do
Heiser?
Torchy's, they Heiser in my mouth.
You wouldn't dare throw one, would you?
No, not if I'm going to take the time
They
to buy
Heiser
it.
into your face.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about it. Who's up on the ball? Oh, Johnny V is on the bull. Somebody should be recording that. I'm hoping someone is recording it. Oh, is that Waisaki too?
Oh, I got to go get that. I'll be
go
back.
Do stuff. We'll let AJ Risley, the disco boy, step in. Sounds like there's some. Oh, geez. I don't know what's going on over there. Jesse James again. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Sergio. It's not my birthday, but thank you. I appreciate that. Sergio should tell the world. Sergio recently won a basket for being a disc golf guy Patreon supporter.
Wow.
All you gotta do is show up.
Nice.
Put money in the
Sergio, way to go.
Put money in the meter once a month.
Money in the meter.
And then you win a basket.
Once a month? Only once a month?
Well, as little as once a month. All right,
Gotcha.
AJ Risley joining the show.
Grizzly
Disc Golf
Growl. There we
Boy.
go.
Hashtag
Drink.
Grizzly Growl. How you doing? Is this your jam?
It's one of them. The remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama
Okay, anyway.
rolling that body,
So,
got every man
are you
in
gonna
here
the
wishing.
question that only question that matters? Are you gonna get on the bull tonight?
Dang, man, you're like the third person to ask me. So is that
That's the only
is that
question
how
that
it works?
matters.
I'm gonna have to stick with my hard maybe.
Okay.
What can I say, man? I'm a professional athlete. I've got careful, don't laugh
are.
don't
No,
laugh
I
too
wasn't.
hard.
You are a professional athlete who's stepped up his game. 1,000 rated club?
1,000 rated club for I don't know, not quite a year.
You know.
Was it September?
Don't ask me like I know.
Sorry.
You know. You know. Well, you've been playing some good golf.
It was right before USDGC last year.
Out there touring.
Yes.
How's it feel?
It feels great. It feels great. I mean, honestly, yeah, it feels amazing. No one's really asked me. Well, a few people have asked me, but I haven't really gone much into depth besides saying it feels great, because honestly, for a while this has been my dream. This was one of my goals as far as career. And I mean, it's not like lavish or anything. I'm not quite.
I see you out there. Just you know.
I mean, look at me. I'm dressed in like all white right now.
Yeah.
I've got the Whitney shirt on underneath this.
Disc golf rich. Why do you have a Whitney
Oh, you'll
Houston
see.
shirt on?
You'll see. But no,
Is
I
there
mean,
a story I should know about?
not yet. But no, it's been great, because like I said, this was my, one of my dreams for a long time now. Ever since I started playing, and I realized, there's a tour like ball golf, and it's possible to turn this into a job. That was my goal for a while when I was an amateur. I wanted to turn pro and see where that could take me. So to be at this point. Sorry, I know you want to chime in. I'm going to try to finish this thought, but to get to this point, you know, at this skill level and consistency, and especially with this amazing sponsor this year, Dynamic Discs.
I just rode the bull.
How'd it go?
Not good.
Not good. But I mean, it's been amazing. So it's kind of surreal sometimes to think that this is what I'm doing 9 months out of the year is on the road, a new town each weekend, a new tournament each weekend, doing what I love. I mean, you know, cliche, they say you don't work a day in your life if you do what you love, and that's kind of how it is right now, and it's awesome. I you know, this life is kind of fast paced sometimes, and it's hard to take a step back and think about things in perspective, but I try to do that whenever I can, if it's during a practice round or laying in bed or even sometimes during the tournament rounds. So it's been amazing.
And that's exactly what I was anticipating from you to say. My immediate follow-up to that exact thought is, where was that point? Where was that turning point? Was it last year? Was it a rating in your head? Was it a particular finish? What was that turning point for you where you're like, all right, this just got real, and I am where I want to be and doing what I want to be doing? What maybe it was years ago.
Yeah, when I first turned pro, I had, you know, I had an idea in my mind that, okay, the way to progress is to, you know, I need to put myself out there more and more and more, because I had done that for a few years as an amateur, playing out-of-state tournaments and then playing AM nationals and then, you know, amateur worlds. And so I said, okay, well, now I'm a pro, I'm going to try to do the same thing. And then to answer your question, I would say that kind of started back in 2016. I had just graduated college in May 2016, and I didn't have a job lined up with my degree. Sorry, Mom. But I wanted to give professional disc golf a try and see if I could make that happen, and, you know, use that to pay the one or two bills that I have. Luckily, you know, luckily I don't have a whole lot of bills, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on the road for hopefully 4 months. We'll see if I can last that long, and that's going to be the test. Can I make it that 4 months? And if I do well, then okay, then I'll think about going on tour for the whole year next year, 2017. And so I did. I played pretty well. I had like a few bad weeks, but then I finished the season strong. And so I said to myself, yeah, okay, let's do this. And then last year was amazing as well. I really found my groove, and I found my confidence, and just kept progressing up and up and up. And so that was kind of the same thing, you know. It was like, okay, here's the test. Can you pass it? Can you know? Can I have a good enough year to make next year feasible?
Yeah.
And so I did, and made some other big changes, and here we are.
Here we are.
Two months into the 2018 season. We're not even close to halfway.
You just talked about a test.
Okay.
Well, keeping in the school or educational theme, if you had a disc golf degree, what would the major, the emphasis be? If you had a disc golf degree, what would your major or emphasis on that?
So I majored in disc golf. What's my concentration, or what's my minor or whatever?
Sure.
I don't know. That's are we talking like technically, like?
Whatever
I don't know.
you want.
I'd say, yeah. Okay, I majored in disc golf with a concentration in fan grips.
Okay.
And the finesse shots.
I guess I would say what I really.
Give me a couple examples.
You know, what do you feel? Where do you excel? Where do you? What is your strong suit?
Sure.
What is your strongest suit within disc golf that's gotten you to this point?
Well, like
maybe
I said,
it's the jump suit. I don't know. Whatever suits you got.
Whatever suits you.
We could pun all day, I think.
Oh yeah, we could. But ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Not today. My strong suits, physically, yeah, I would say the you know, finesse shots, fan grip shots, or maybe even like flat or straight shots physically. Mentally, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can, hit reset after each hole and stay somewhat even keeled or bounce back from mistakes and bad
Do you feel
holes.
like that's something that you've honed in or you've worked on throughout the years? Because
Yeah.
I'll call you out.
Sure.
As Bobby would say, keeping it real. I think.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I know that in past, and every player does it to some degree, I've seen you get really down or really frustrated with some of your performance. Do you feel like that's something that you worked on and now you're better at?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I know, we as golfers or athletes, we try to have short memories and forget about bad things and sometimes even forget about good things just to stay focused on the moment. But, I do remember, I think it was either 2013 or 14 Memorial, and I had a bad round at Fountain Hills, and I was steaming after hole 18, and I walked over to the practice basket and just took my bag and slammed it down on the ground. All the discs went flying. My water bottle broke. It was not my proudest moment. I remember 2014 Vibram Open, the second round, when it was super cold and super rainy and windy, and I couldn't even grip my discs on the back nine, and I went from second card to like 50th, not second card, and I, fuming after the 18th green, walked out to the parking lot of my car and broke my umbrella on the back of my car. And so I've definitely had a rough past. I've folded putters, I've turned them inside out, done a lot of stuff, but no, I definitely.
Were you called Rage J or H? Rage?
Not quite. Yeah. Luckily,
I don't know.
No.
Again, and I'm not harping on those.
But I've gotten better, and and thank you for bringing that up because it's fine. You're keeping it real, which is good. That's what we need because a lot of times everybody's too sugar-coated. Everybody has the same responses to the questions that you give, but no, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that.
Good.
Prime example, a couple weekends ago in Russellville, Arkansas. I think I was chase card, and I might have gotten up to like top 3 at some point during the final round, and the last 3 holes I went bogey, par, double bogey, like 3 putted my last hole to finish the tournament and dropped from like probably, I think I would have, if I would have parred that hole, I would have finished in 3rd, but instead I ended up in 9th, and I was totally playing it in my head like, all right, I'm going to keep it cool, adding up the scores, but as soon as I get to my car, I'm going to scream my face off.
Sure.
And I was thinking that, like, walking over to my car, and I sat down, put my bag in the trunk, sat down in the front seat, closed the door, and I didn't scream my face off. And so yeah, I feel like that was a big step, and I was happy for that self-control. And I mean, that's kind of, sometimes it takes 5 years as a professional for that to happen.
Well, and I want to be very clear. I've played the game, and I have my own frustrations, sometimes even on a broadcast perspective, and sometimes you do want to scream. And I'm not saying people should never show emotion, and I don't want anyone to misconstrue that either. I do think there is a level in which you can express yourself and show that emotion, and sometimes it's more professional than others. And it sounds like you're finding that balance, and I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah,
and by no means was I picking on you
no,
either.
That's
I've watched you progress as a player, and as a touring player who was struggling and trying to make it on the road. And I think these are all parts of your development and as your progression and where you've arrived at and how you're doing now. And I think those are really good tips for people to take with them and say, hey, maybe learning to keep myself in check a little bit more is one of those things that can,
right. You make good points, and I spit out the gum. Jeez, sorry.
They're brutal. If you don't know this, the internet will let you know if you're not doing something right. The internet will tell you.
But sorry. Okay, so.
Should we start over?
No, yeah, hi, my name is AJ Risley, PDGA number 25890, social security number. But, no, keeping it real, you make some great points, and it's tough because we see so many players. We see a lot of players come and go on this big stage. You know, even like in the 1,000 rated club, we see a lot of players come and go. A lot of players that show potential. And I know I see it all the time back at home. You know, the difference between an amateur player and a pro player is the physical and mental game. It's like you can have a great physical game. You can throw 400, 500 feet, make putts, but if you can't control your emotions and your mind while you're out there trying to do it, it's just never going to happen. So there's that. And also, as the sport is growing with the Pro Tour and the National Tour, you know, elevating and everything's elevating, I mean, we're seeing crazy competitive fields every weekend, whether it's at these National Tour events and Pro Tour events, or even just the gap weekends at the A tiers. I know I've played like just about every A tier in between a Pro Tour event or a National Tour event. This weekend has been super competitive, where I'm like almost getting in a mindset of where I was the first few years on tour, where I'd sort by rating and be like, okay, how many people okay, we've got 30 people in the field, 40% is this, I'm like, oh gosh, I need to like step it
level up.
Yeah. So I mean, and what I mean by all of that is the talent level is growing, and it's making it more and more possible for more players to try this, to become, you know, to want to be a professional touring disc golfer, you know, have that as their occupation on their, what was that, the 1099 or whatever tax form. My mom does my taxes. Thanks, Mom. But she's an accountant, whatever. And so, yeah, hopefully I can be somewhat of an example for those players. Maybe not like the brightest shining example, because I haven't won a tournament outside of California, and I know that a lot of people are really like winning, but that's not what it's about. Winning the tournament isn't what it's about every single weekend. You can still improve and progress week in and week out without winning, and I feel like I've done that little by little, and hopefully players out there can see that and believe in themselves to come out and try it and put themselves out there.
Well, and when you travel week in and week out, and then you have the distractions like Miley Cyrus playing during karaoke, how you don't get up and just like run over there. I mean, that shows restraint in itself.
Can you tell that I'm sweating? So.
Yeah, and it's
fun fact. Party in the USA was my GBO tee-off song when I signed up back in 2016, but I had to drop out.
Oh.
For real, it was.
So, follow-up question, of course, what was the 2017 GBO tee-off song, and what is the 2018 GBO tee-off song?
2017 GBO tee-off song that no one ever got to hear was by Pink Floyd, Have a Cigar. And I kind of queued it up to the first verse, and I think it's something like, come in here, dear boy, have a cigar, you're going to go far, you're going to fly high, you're going to make it if you try, they're going to love you. And I kind of connected. Yep. You're killing it. You've had enough microphone time.
Oh.
Ouch.
I love attention. Hi, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice. I love it.
Disc golf is awesome. So are these people.
True.
And I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
GBO.
Sweet. GBO.
That's our GBO. That's.
Ricky and I sang Since You've Been Gone Together. It was a special moment.
That was, I heard some of that. It was.
Wow.
It was great.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
All right. So karaoke song. The follow-up, of course. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with my. It's a OB themed song. It's called "Give Me 3 Steps" by Leonard Skinner.
And when is that going to happen?
It'll happen soon. I think I've got a beer over there. I need to refuel. I don't know.
All right. So my last question for you is, let's rewind to a couple years ago. You helped me out tremendously by doing some filming at the Vibram Open, maybe 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. You did some filming with one of my cameras. We worked out an arrangement. And then...
Yeah, that was 2015,
then we went out, and you and I did some co-commentary on it.
Yes.
And you also occasionally came on and did a little bit of action on the live commentary for the SmashBox.
Right, yeah.
So it was Disc Golf Guy, and it was SmashBox. You weren't the favorite commentator we've ever had. You were one of my favorites.
Really?
But you weren't the world's favorite.
I was not.
You were not.
Oh.
So let's
brutal.
fast forward to 2018.
Really? Do you remember the 2014 skins at Soho?
Hey.
Everybody loved my sandwich comments.
You were my favorite.
Okay.
And you were some people's favorites, but some people were like...
Gosh.
So now we fast forward.
Okay.
You work with Jomez and Central Coast for their Chumps versus Chumps video or whatever it was. And now all of a sudden, you're an effing hero and the greatest commentator of all time.
The greatest commentator of all
time.
How
does this happen? Did you get funnier? Or is it just channel preference that you got the bump from those two channels as opposed to working with the guy that helped discover your brilliance?
Oh my gosh!
And I'm not bitter.
This is all coming full circle. Are we still keeping it real?
Yeah, I'm just wondering because now everybody loves AJ. Rage.
Sorry. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe that's the key. I haven't like I haven't slammed my bag on the ground in a while, so people feel like I can let them in.
Wow,
I don't know.
In all seriousness,
right,
it's
so
great.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've matured.
You've gotten funnier.
I've matured
somehow.
A little bit, so
You've gotten even funnier.
Somehow, yeah. It's not so much. It's better jokes. I don't know, or more thought out. Everything's more thought out, not just like blah 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 blah, saying whatever. I don't know.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know you are.
I love seeing the transition. I want to work with you more. I think it's great to have you do some commentary. And whether it's myself or someone else with you, I love having you around, and I love having you.
Thanks.
Spit on the mic, as they say.
Spit on the mic. Yeah. I mean, I talked to my dad a little bit a couple weeks ago, and he said, I was talking to him about something, and he said, I can tell you've gotten a little more comfortable with yourself. And I think last year had a lot to do with that, kind of going on tour full time and having it be somewhat of a success. It did. It made me feel a little better about the decisions I've made over the past 5 or 10 years. And so that translates into a lot of the rest of my life. So maybe that's it. Maybe I feel a little more comfortable with everything, and the jokes aren't forced as much.
I love them all. I love them all. And here's another fact.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna give some shout outs after your facts.
I'm gonna give another quick fact. The very first SmashBoxxTV broadcast ever on SmashBoxxTV took place at Sylmar at Veterans Park.
Yes.
And it was all due to Legacy and their support. Bamba and Steve Rico, good friends of ours.
Yeah.
Huge supporters over there at Legacy. And AJ was, in fact, working a camera as that went down. So one of the first ever, it was literally the first ever SmashBoxxTV broadcast. AJ was a part of it.
Yeah, I remember.
And we appreciate that.
It was good times.
All right, before you give your shout-outs, I've got one. This will be my final question, I think.
Okay.
Last night, during the Q&A panel, were you there for it? Well, that's a question.
Okay.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Uh-oh.
Simon Lizotte
3 more wishes.
Was asked
oh, gosh,
if he's single. I feel it's only fair to ask that of yourself. Are you single? And if so, what attributes are you looking for in a companion or partner? The gotcha question.
Wow, yeah.
Nailed it.
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
No, I want to hear it. The world needs to hear this.
I'll keep it real. Yeah, I am single.
Don't say this.
No quotes?
You either are or aren't.
I'm not like committed to anybody.
Okay.
Oh God.
And you're
and my attributes, if we're being 100% honest, brown hair.
Wow. Brown hair, female brown hair.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to get it all out there.
I mean, yeah, you have brown hair, so I mean, good thing this isn't like a. Anyways, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Something about brown hair, brown-haired girls.
That's fair. So it
Some-
has
yeah.
to start with brown hair.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't
But
hurt.
you're not excluded.
I'm not excluding.
Non-brown
Not excluding anybody.
hair. All right. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Any other disc golfer or not? Does it matter?
What?
Does she have to? Does this brown-haired woman have to be a disc golfer?
No.
Okay.
I mean, but it doesn't hurt because that's, it's nice to have things in common, right? It's nice to share interests.
sometimes not too many, but yeah.
If I'm also being honest, then I don't have a whole lot of other interests besides disc golf. I mean, it is my job, my occupation. If I had to keep a
Degree.
journal,
degree.
yeah, you're right.
All right, Zach's got brown hair.
Yeah.
All right, I think you missed a key component there, Zach. All right, so that was my final question. I want you to give some shout-outs, some words of thanks, whatever you need. Go ahead and recognize anyone and everyone.
You said that I'm everybody's favorite disc golf commentator now. Thank
Yes.
you. Sorry, Nate Sexton. Just kidding. He's great too.
Thank you.
But I would say I did some commentary with Ian Anderson from Central Coast, and that's why I want to give a shout out to him because he makes it so easy. His play-by-play commentary is so like free, and he makes color commentary makes it very easy. And so I did some commentary with him. Hopefully he'll let me join him again, but he just kind of lobbed up some nice softballs to me, and I was able to just knock him out of the park.
Out of the park.
So credit to Ian for being good at what he does, and then also that the CCDG versus Jomez Pro round was just so much fun. Those guys were having so much fun. It was hard not to join in with them. So I can't. Namaste.
All right, and then you'd like to thank your sponsors before you go.
Of course, yeah. I gotta
Just
thank.
about to.
Time for the real talent.
Hold on.
I gotta thank Dynamic Discs for making this possible for me. Thank you. Bye.
All right, that is a slight mic drop.
He dropped the mic, unlike on the course.
All right, so
All right.
what's going on out there?
There's a lot going on out there. So far, I just bought a drink for Simon Lazat. He's out here. He said he'd swing by the podcast in a little while after a drink or two. Same thing with Paige Pierce. They want to get a little bit more into the environment,
Okay.
and then she'll swing by the podcast. I've seen Ricky Wysocki, Jeremy Rusko, and Bobby Brown and myself all ride the mechanical bull.
Wow.
I've got video of everyone but me. It's hard to video when you're on the bull. Someone said Double G was here, but I haven't been able to find him.
Okay.
Other than that, just everybody out there having a lot of fun.
Well, there's a lot of action going on out here. We're down here live at the Bourbon Cowboy in downtown Emporia, just part of the magnificent GBO week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the super chats that we've seen. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for everyone that's also keeping up with everything that's going on. And Rick Hushain, yes, Rick has been the beer delivery
He has.
and supporter and sponsor. This is our cameraman, Rick. He's the best looking one, and I'm not just saying that because he's the only one here right now or buying me beer.
True story.
Good old Rick, who's
Is
been on
he's
Thrill
buying you
Cam.
beer? My
Maybe.
tab's open, so that
Oh.
might be on me. Who knows?
Oh, well, in that case.
Either way, I'm fine with that.
And thank you to all of the people who support us the other night. Wilbur Wallace, Ryan Pilcher, a couple great people buying some beverages. We certainly appreciate it here. So,
We got karaoke going on. I've got some great video of Ricky up there doing karaoke.
wow.
I think
some woman stepped in and said, "I did karaoke with Ricky."
yes, that'll be out there. I will make sure to post that out for Patreon supporters only,
Patreon
and probably the
only.
bull rides will be Patreon only.
There you
So
go.
if you're interested in seeing Ricky do a couple karaoke's, or Bobby or Jeremy Rusko doing some bull riding, I guarantee it. Simon wouldn't get on the bull, nor would he do karaoke. I asked him.
You know, I know Simon's one of the most fun-loving guys on the planet, but I can also understand him passing on both of those. So
I could understand Ricky doing the same, but he didn't. I turned to Jeremy Rusko and I said, "That's that's the moneymaker right there. That's Ricky Wysocki," and he's like, "Meh, it's GBO. Let's have some fun."
anything goes at GBO.
Anything does go at GBO.
There
So,
should be a hashtag in there
so you had
somewhere.
Bobby Brown and AJ Risley on here. Anything good come out of them? What do we learn? No, okay.
No. Bobby Brown kept it real. We touched on a few things that were going around. Talked to AJ about his touring life, how he's grown up throughout the years, how he's also been a big guy in helping out with some media stuff throughout the years, and that's been about it.
Okay.
So really good stuff, and not to minimalize what they said, but I would say those are the main takeaways. So
Sure. What else do we have? What are we talking about?
not too much, just reading on the board, trying to get caught up. This is the first time I'm glad I'm not a Patreon supporter.
Well,
No one's going to force you to watch it, although it would be a good idea.
it is going to be a great idea. That's one of the things I want. One of the reasons I love to come to GBO, because I promise the Patreon supporters a lot of behind-the-scenes action, and I want to make sure to deliver on that. I want to make sure they have stuff that nobody else sees, and nobody else maybe wants to see. Who knows? So,
Anything's possible.
did we talk about the big Smashbox round we did today? Did you talk about that at all?
No, oh my gosh, no.
Oh.
Why don't you tell everyone about it?
So this morning, we were going to go to the warehouse. I wanted to be at the warehouse by about 11. Our camera guys were kind of talking last night about hitting a Flex C tier that's available. It's I don't want to call it a 2-disc challenge, but it's a 2-throw challenge. So it's a 9-hole event at Flint Hills Technical College. Flint Hills Technical College. You go down the tee and you throw 2 shots. You play them out. So it was you, it was me, Rick, Gary, and Chad. And we got to go around and play 9 holes. It's really the first time we've played a round as the full Smashbox team. Terry's typing here.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate enough to we got on in about, I don't know, it took us about 20 minutes to get on, and about an hour and 20 minutes to play the full 9 holes. I have to say, you and I played, you lost a disc. That's the other thing I'll put on Patreon. Terry's lost a disc. He threw a big hyzer, I think it was the 3rd hole, out over the road, hoping for it to skip off of the road. All I was yelling was sewer, 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 and then suddenly the disc vanished. And you actually made it into the sewer. I've got a couple pictures that looks like that meme from It with the clown. That's, they all float down here. That's your Wraith.
It was ridiculous. There is a slit in the road for the sewer that's maybe about this wide or so, maybe 2 or 3 feet. And my disc went out, like as Johnny said, it was over the road. And I think I absolutely aced the sewer, like straight in. And oh, by the way, it's this wide.
It's all of about 3 to 4
about
feet.
that tall.
It's the curb. It's the
That
height of the
wide.
curb.
Somehow my disc went right in there. I didn't actually believe it was going to happen, but it did. And right there, I should have just picked up my disc and walked off the course. That's what I should have done. I should have went full Rage AJ Rage. I'm still working that one out. But I should have went full AJ Rage and just walked off, because it only got worse from there. Here's the funny thing, before we get to Johnny V's highlights. The funny thing is,
Not much highlights.
I then threw from about 175 feet
Drilled the front of the basket.
and then nailed the top of the basket, almost putting in for the penalty 3. It didn't go in, and the round only got worse.
Correct. You ended up shooting a
10,000 under.
10,000 under. No, you were.
I don't even know. I never even looked
think
at the
you-
scorecard. That's how many
You were.
Fs I gave.
I think you were 6 under or 7 under.
I don't know.
I was 11 under.
Johnny V came in with the hot score.
And to be fair, this is a wide open pitch and putt, something we're used to. It's a lot of hyzers. There's 1 or 2 spots where you can't throw a hyzer, maybe a couple hills. We all had a couple bad breaks, missed a dumb shot or two. A lot of, being in the media, we don't get a lot of chance to practice. It's the first time I've first time I've really thrown a disc in about 6 to 8 months. And I was very happy with my 11 under. Our cameramen, they shot, everyone was under par, let's put it that way. So
Everyone was?
Everybody was under par.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Again, I didn't look at the scores.
No, you after about, we'll say about hole 15, quote unquote, even though it was about the 7th hole, I think at that point you were just like, okay, you had a big uphill putt, hit front of the basket, you turned down like you just drained the putt because you looked away before it hit, and it rolled down about 8 feet to your right, or your left maybe from where you were. Not the round you were looking for. You debated. You told me, you're like, I want to go back and play again.
Yeah.
Because you felt like the course kind of got the best of you.
It was not great, is how I can summarize that. The last thing I'm going to say about it, besides making that comebacker up the hill, which is pretty awesome.
You drained like a 40-foot comeback up the hill.
I have a 38-footer up a hill. I release it. I'm like, oh, that's in. It looked great. Hits the basket, rolls all the way back, same distance. I then pick it up, throw it right back up, and then that one goes in to still save the par.
Which is funny because our cameraman Gary did the same thing. He hit a putt, it came down, it rolled down into like this little kind of drainage area. He had, I think, a 5 foot shorter putt than what he started with, still right around the circle's edge, and drains it.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say about that round, which sucked, I pulled out a disc. It used to be my favorite disc in my bag. It's been in my bag since 2007. And after I'd thrown my previous disc on hole 4 straight into the ditch, gully, whatever, sewer, I then pull out a replacement for that to throw it on hole 4 because it had previously happened on 3. And that disc, which is normally stable, got up, flipped over, and went across the road, someplace you should never throw.
No, it was like a WTF Richard shot, almost.
It almost was, except for I don't know if the disc is just bent or if there's a problem with it, or I don't know. But anyway.
You're right. That disc, it came out of your hand, and it just flipped over and then carried over the road. I was snickering to myself because it was such a crazy shot I wouldn't expect you to throw.
Well, because it flew like a paper plate, and the last time I threw it, it flew like a perfectly seasoned or slightly beat stable driver. And this time, it got up and turned over and went the opposite direction.
It did.
Wasn't pretty.
It really did.
All right, anyway.
There is someone talking about me on the bull. It wasn't pretty. I got on the bull.
How long were you on?
Maybe a second, Rick? Do you think I made it to about
1 second?
1 second? A second and a half? I'll say this. It's really difficult in jeans. Because you just slide right off. But we've got a bigger, better guest here. I told him he'd come on. The one and only, what's his name? You may know him as the German Explosion.
No.
Simon
no one knows
Lizotte.
him as the German Explosion.
Nobody knows him as that. Boom.
Test. Nice and loud. That's all right. Everybody still sees you, buddy. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You and I, as our crew was pulling into the parking spot tonight, and I was looking at the Bourbon Cowboy sign, I said, Simon Lizotte and I had a couple of really good conversations in here last year, and one of them was right outside the door. We won't share all of it, but it was a really good conversation. Do you remember any of it?
No.
Okay, well then we don't need to worry about it. We had some good conversations.
I think every time we speak, we have good conversations.
We do, and I want to thank you for always joining us, always being so gracious with us at SmashBoxx and the Disc Golf Guy, things that I put together. So thank you for that. We're here, it's the Bourbon Cowboy, round 1 is done. Where's your head right now, mentally?
There where it always is, just smiling, happy that we have finally for the GBO, like, perfect conditions. I'm so happy we're only playing one course. I know that's been kind of a controversy, but I'm very glad. I played almost really good. If I could make 20 footers, then I would be like freaking running away right now. But I'm happy. I've heard I was the only player today without OBs. Is that true?
Well,
No, without bogeys.
without a bogey.
Yes.
I said that on the air. I looked at it, and you were the only person that I saw that had no bogeys anywhere on their card.
Yeah,
well,
no.
in the top 50, and I figured, well, okay, if you're below 50, you probably got a bogey.
Yeah, I was playing very conservative for my standards, except for the island hole 16, where I went for the island, which was not my game plan, but 3 guys in front of me freaking parked it. So I was like, okay, I can't be the one guy laying up.
Wow, so you let peer pressure.
And I almost aced it.
Yeah, but
and
you
I
let
put it
the
like
peer
2
pressure
feet.
get to you?
Yeah, I mean, we were all like tied. I think at that time we were almost all tied, or like within one stroke, the 4 of us. Thank you.
That was delivered earlier today here. I don't know.
Oh, Simon
Wow.
gets cake delivered to our podcast. I don't know how this guy ranks, but come on.
And yeah, it was a good round. I mean, no major mistakes besides sloppy putting. And if I can be more confident on the putting green tomorrow, then good luck to the rest of the field.
Yeah, guys, good luck. You've been having kind of a crazy year. I mean, you're here in the U.S. This is where you're residing, but you had to withdraw from Waco due to a traffic accident, which is, of course, just kind of unheard of in that sense, that you had to withdraw from Waco. Then ultimately you weren't at the last big event. Which one was that?
Jonesboro.
Arkansas. You weren't at Arkansas. Just kind of all over the place. You're taking it all in good stride, I assume. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, after the stretch from Vegas and Memorial, which went super well for Eagle and myself, I thought I was feeling great. I was like in the best shape of my life, and I don't know, the thing that happened in Waco was like a huge bummer, of course, and it went way more public again than I wanted it to. But yeah, after Waco, my back just started like, something went wrong. I don't know how or where, because I was feeling great physically. And I had to pull out of Jonesboro because my back wasn't feeling ready. And I saw a doctor twice a week since then, and I've been doing yoga. So I've had like, since Waco now, how many weeks is that? Like 6 weeks-ish? 5-6 weeks? I've had like so much time to do rehab and recover, and I'm feeling very good again. So
good. Now, was it anything in particular about your back, or did somebody see you and say, "Oh, you've done this or you've done that," or it just was a matter of rehabbing it?
The back is very complicated. I've had back problems for the last 6 years. I've been to multiple doctors, like experts in that field. I've been done MRIs multiple times. I've done X-rays, and there's never been a real diagnosis that was like, you did this, you have to do this. I don't know. I think it could be anything really.
Well, I'm going to go as far. I'll steal this mentality right from Hannah Macbeth. She talked years ago about working with Paul and how you guys need to start thinking about the longevity of your careers and how much pressure and stress and torque you guys are putting on yourselves when you're throwing these big shots. You guys make it look effortless, and it's a thing of beauty, but you guys are making your back and your torso and all your other joints and movements do so much work. And I think there's something to be said there. You throw as far or further than anyone else on the planet, and as smooth as it looks, maybe there's something there about the mechanics of it. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, I throw so hard all the time, and the reality is I'm not like 18, 19, 20 anymore, and
because you're the ripe old age
even though I'm only 25, I put all this stress on my body without, like, we're playing disc golf.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, honestly, like we're athletes. But we have to like realize that we need physical therapy. After every round, we need to work on our arms, on our back, because we got to warm up correctly. We got to start just preparing like athletes do.
Well, and I think that goes so far into saying that someone like yourself, you've been throwing discs since like the age of 2, and so a lot of the stuff that's very natural, that feels smooth and easy, that's a lot of repetitive motion and movement, for what you're doing. So I could understand that catching up with you, and it sounds like you're taking the proper measures to stay out of trouble moving forward. So you hit on a great topic. You said you love that you're playing one course, and today online, and I'm sure plenty of others out there have said, "Oh, this is boring," or "Why are they just playing one course?" Tell everybody what it means to you to come to an event like this, of this size and this magnitude, and just have to concentrate on one course. What does that mean to you?
I kind of like and at the same time hate comparing disc golf to traditional golf.
Sure.
But when do you ever see a major championship in golf being on multiple courses? I don't think never, ever, right?
At most, they change the cups, the pin positions.
Yeah, they change pin positions, but it's always the same
Fairway,
course.
tee.
And it is just so much easier for us touring pros to practice one course instead of 3, because 3 courses just takes up so much time. So I appreciate coming here only 2 days early and having one course to practice, one thing to focus on. That just makes our job easier, really.
Yeah, well, and not just easier, well, I'll say a little less stressful probably as well. You're not worried about seeing all these courses. It's not that you want to be lazy or not get your practice in, but you don't have to learn all the rules at all the different courses. Does this have an OB or does this have a drop zone? And these baskets might be different from those baskets. You don't have to deal with any of that stress or pressure, and I think that's awesome. This year, very different approach, and I know we've talked about this in some previous podcasts, but you're essentially kind of like a Paul Macbeth. You're kind of just zooming in and out, or technically flying in and out to a lot of events. What does that mean for you versus being in an RV and some of those long drives or some of those other challenges of being on the road grinding?
Yeah, it's one thing I've always wanted, to have like a home base in America. Because touring, like, anyone knows the feeling of going to a tournament for a week and then coming home and being like exhausted and happy to be home, happy to be in their own bed. And when you're like on tour for like 2-3 months in a row, you never get that. It's always tournament, travel, practice, tournament, travel, practice, non-stop. And of course it is very fun and it has a lot of positive sides, but the reality is it's very hard, very exhausting. And a lot of people have tried it, and after like half a year they were like, this is clearly not for me. I did it for 4 years. And having a home base now is just so different. So nice to come home and have a place to relax, to like regroup, to feel home. Like just literally to have a consistent bed for a week at a time is like special.
So when you are home, when you are relaxing, as you say, what are some of the things that you do?
Something that I usually, when I'm on tour in the States, never get to do is watch movies, watch TV, play video games, go play pool, or like go hang out with new faces, stuff like that. Like on tour, it's always the same, always doing something. And what I really love to do is sometimes nothing.
Yeah.
So I get to do nothing, which is awesome.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't realize just how tough the grind is. And some people will say, oh, how tough is it? You throw Frisbees around for 3 or 4 days a week. When you're playing at this level, when you're talking about injuries, travels, schedules, all those things, it gets very intense. Your week is compressed. It may not be 7 days of chaos, but it's 3 or 4 or 5 days of really intense chaos. And I understand as well as anybody that that's a real grind out there. So you get to relax, you get to do some things that you like to do. I've seen you post a few pictures over at Pyramids, Maple Hill. Some pretty nice courses to call your home base right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, Maple Hill is one of the gems in America. Everyone knows that. It has 4 layouts on one course, which every layout is basically a whole new course.
Yep.
So, and Maple Hill Gold is probably my top 5 courses in the States. It's just so good, so fun. And probably with where I'm staying, I have like 5, 6, maybe 7 courses within 30 minutes. All very wooded.
Okay.
Maple Gold is like the most open course I have. But I mean, except for it's still snowing over there, everything's perfect.
Yeah, it was just knowing 2 weeks ago I was running an event in Wisconsin, and for the first time I think in my career I had to cancel a second round because of the snow that was coming. It was ridiculous. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, very bad.
I know you're incredibly talented and you do a lot of different things. You're very good at everything from guitar to pool to darts or whatever. I don't think I've ever asked you, what's something that you'd love to be really good at that you're not really, really good at? Because you're above average in almost everything I've seen you compete in. What's something where you're not above average yet?
That's a tough question to answer.
That you want to be above average at?
The only thing that comes to mind right now is bowling. I'm very bad at bowling.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, so there's your weakness, bowling.
I'm very bad at bowling.
What would you say your average is? If you played 10 games, what would you probably bowl?
Average 120.
Okay, that's not like embarrassing. Like Johnny V's embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay? He's lucky if he sniffs 100.
I hit 180s, 170s, 160s
Okay.
regularly.
Okay.
But it happens that I bowl like an 80.
Oh.
Which is very sad.
Okay.
That's like 700 rated bowling.
All right, so bowling might be the one weakness where somebody could actually beat you. Okay, fair enough.
Anything else? No.
Now, you're on the East Coast, over by Maple Hill, as we said. They have duck pin bowling. That's a whole different bowling.
I've heard about that a lot, but I've never played it.
No?
No,
Okay.
I never played it.
I think this year after the MVP Open, you're going to have to go partake in some candlepin bowling. That's
Or
kind
I
of a
might
big
go
deal.
next week. I'm flying back to Boston on Sunday. I'll be there for 2 weeks.
All right, so let's segue.
And then
right
West Coast swing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, break down your schedule a little bit. Where are we gonna see you? What do you have in the next month or so?
Yeah, 3 weeks from now, Masters Cup Santa Cruz.
Okay.
San Francisco Open, Battle of Seattle, Beaver State Fling in Portland, and then I'm going to do a 1 week Finland tour, and then play Sula Open in Norway, then another week in Finland, then a couple days in Germany, and then Konopiste Major in Czech Republic, then an A-tier in Sweden.
Okay.
And then I have like 3 or 4 weeks off before the European Championships, and I'm not sure if I'm going to come back to Boston in that time, or if maybe my girlfriend's going to travel to Germany and hang out for a bit. I don't know. Like, she's very busy doing her studies, but...
Okay. What does she study?
Infectious disease. Smart one.
All right, all right. So that's really interesting to hear. It sounds like we're not going to see you probably at Utah, I think, is right after some of those. Doesn't sound like the Utah Open on the Pro Tour, but making that whole West Coast swing and then international for 4, 5, 6 weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah. UC's already planned everything out, of course, as always. I have all the stops. We're going to do a big stop at like a National League baseball game where I'm going to do like a distance showcase and like a 1-minute putting challenge or something in front of like 1,000 people. So it'll be exciting, like always new stuff happening. It's, I don't know. I'm nervous already.
And that was my next question. When you stepped onto the tee today, scale of 1 to 10, 10 means like you're ready to die, and 1 means like you're as cool as a cucumber. That's a saying around here.
Yeah.
How nervous were you when you stepped onto T1 today to start the tournament? 10 is like you're ready to die.
Wow, today was very low. I was maybe a 2, if that.
Okay, you were ready.
I was not feeling any nerves today.
So why did you power hole one?
Because I missed a 20-footer. I mean, it happens. My putt, I actually, kind of funny story, even though it's not really funny. We were on the warm-up field. It was me and Paul putting on the same basket, practicing. Right before the round, like 20 minutes before the round, and I was talking to Paul, like, dude, somehow I have a feeling today is for me like a 50% day. I'm going to make 50% of the putts. 50% I'm just going to, like, completely shank. And I did exactly that. Sometimes you just feel it, like, I'm going to miss 2 or 3 20-footers today. That's just how it goes, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just one of those days. And I was putting for birdie on 17 holes today, and I shot 10 under. Yes, I know, very. If I was putting well today, I would be leading by 4, 5, or 6 strokes.
Will you make any adjustments mentally or physically tomorrow, or do you just expect the putts to fall tomorrow?
Well, my theory is that if you have a bad putting day, the chances of having another bad putting day like automatically decrease.
So it's a numbers game.
And also, like, I've been around for so long, I've played so many tournaments, I've been in this position so many times. I don't worry about missing a 20-footer. I don't worry about having a bad putting day because I just know it's coming back. Like, there's no doubt, like, not even a single little doubt that I will be putting better tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then on the final round. It's like no worries at all.
I can't tell you how much I love that mentality. I mean, it's a numbers game, and you know, with as good of a player as you are, that whether you're off by a little bit or you have a bad day or a bad front nine,
whoever is singing right now is singing worse than I'm putting. Jesus Christ.
So like 800 rated karaoke, is that what you're saying? Now, I heard you were challenged to both ride a bull and do karaoke, and you're passing on both?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like being like in the center of attention, honestly.
Shush your mouth.
I mean, on the disc golf course, it's different because I feel very confident out there because I've been doing it forever. I feel like I can do anything out there, and I love, like, I prefer people watching me playing disc golf than no people watching me.
Okay.
But anything else, maybe I like the same thing in pool, but anything else I'm not 100% confident in. I'm like very introverted. Is that a word that makes sense?
Sure, yeah. Well, I guess I would say, so it's fair to say that if there was a huge gallery watching you in a bowling matchup, you might crumble. You're not confident in bowling, and there's a big crowd. You might succumb to pressure there?
It's all mental. Yeah, sports are so weird. During the Memorial, I was visiting a pool hall, and a disc golfer in Phoenix is actually one of the top 20 players in the world. His name is Bobby, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan. Do you want to play some pool?" I knew he was really good. I didn't know he was world-class good, and I fell apart. I couldn't pot a ball anymore. It's so mental. I'm a good pool player, but once I know this guy is so much better than me, it falls apart. It's crazy.
Wow. All right. Well, how much of the sport is mental? I mean, we all talk about it, but tell me your percentage. How much of the sport's mental?
It's hard to say because if you think about, I would say it's 50-50.
Okay.
But of course, once you have the physical technique skills, it's 99% mental.
I was just going to say 90.
So for the top 50 players in the world, it's only a mental game.
Okay. Okay. Who's got the strongest mental game in the sport?
Wow.
Any division, any age, who has the strongest mental game right now? Because I think you and I could say all day long Ken Climo did for many years.
Yeah.
You know, when he was in his prime. Right now, who has the strongest mental game in our sport?
Right now, it's so hard to say because this season has been all over the place. There's no Paul winning every tournament. There's no Ricky winning. Oh, he won Jonesboro, but besides that, it's been like kind of like unpredictable what's going to happen.
Okay.
So right now,
Who's
the strongest.
still the strongest mentally? That's
Who's right now the strongest mentally? Hard to say. I don't know. I will forever be impressed with Macbeth's mental game. That guy is, cold-blooded.
He is. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, and I think it's hard. You don't see Ricky get shaken mentally too often, and if he does, he's bringing it on himself. But you don't see him waver or get flustered all too often either. Some more bad singing, yes.
What is happening?
I think somebody's killing a goose or something.
All right, Terry, I'm out.
All right, buddy. I appreciate the time. I need a quick cheers before you go, man.
I'm not drinking beer, by the way.
Oh, no, that's apple juice. That's apple juice, folks. Simon Lizotte, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you, guys.
Stay bogey-free and stay OB-free
If
tomorrow.
I play this tournament bogey-free, that would be the biggest accomplishment of my life.
Simon Lizotte, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Yep. Just slam it. There you go. All right, thank you. Again, Simon Lizotte with some great insights. Rick here, who celebrated. Rick's going to join me for a minute. Rick celebrated his 40th birthday. Most of you think, oh, hey, it's so amazing. I'm turning 40. There's going to be this big party. Rick here came in from Connecticut, flew in on Tuesday night, got picked up by our other cameramen in Kansas City, and then drove right down to see us wrapping up the podcast Tuesday night. Rick has joined us for the last few years. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for everything that you do out there. Rick comes in from Connecticut for a majority of our SmashBoxx. Excuse me, for a majority of our SmashBoxx.
For the majority of the
adventures.
SmashBoxx I come in, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you are there.
I have to say, you mentioned the 40th birthday, and I got to say, Rick, when you fly in that night,
it's going to be lit.
We're going to buy you a beer. Terry said, I'm going to buy you a beer. And Johnny said, I'm going to buy you a beer. I get there, I'm at the bar. Some stranger buys me a beer and a shot.
Kobe Geis.
This guy, no. Johnny V, no.
There
Tonight, I'm buying beers and delivering them.
Budget
but,
cuts.
whatever.
Folks, budget cuts.
It is
That's what
it
we're
is.
talking about here.
I wouldn't rather be any other place than I am right now with T-Dog right now.
No, we really appreciate it. Rick, this is your first time here at the GBO. You're a big trilogy thrower and a fan yourself, which is awesome. What has this experience been like? And of course, we've got a few days to go, but what's it been like, this atmosphere, the last few days?
It's amazing. And like you said, I'm a trilogy guy, if you will. I've only been playing disc golf for like a little less than 3 years. And I was introduced through Bobby's, basically the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast. And that's how I was introduced. That's basically how I started learning.
Hush your mouth. Disc Golf Answer Man?
Yeah, that's how I learned. And so I jumped on as a fanboy pretty quickly, and I throw. So, for sure, I've been wanting to get out here, and luckily, SmashBoxx got me out here. So,
well, and what's been really cool, I would like to think on your behalf, is the fact that we've got the opportunity to not only watch the best players in the world, but you've been able to see what's going on in terms of the players' party, the Q&A, been at the warehouse distribution center, been inside the retail store. Like, you don't have to be a player to enjoy this entire week. You can have a lot of different roles. You can be a volunteer, you can be a spotter, you can be working for cameras. I mean, there's so many things you could be doing, but still enjoying every moment and the aura and the atmosphere that the GBO is, and I'm glad you're getting the chance to experience it.
Yeah, it really is. And last year was like my first full year, doing cameraman and experiencing all that stuff. But last year I wasn't able to come. This year I was able to come. Yeah, it really is. It's a whole different animal here, and I got a special tour, if you will, of the factory. Dixon Jowers hooked me up yesterday, brought me around, and experiencing the players, the meeting, and things like that. And yeah, everything. It's really awesome. Everything that you guys hear about coming to GBO, you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, it's that and plus some for sure.
And then some.
Yeah.
Well, Zach Pajak, you're a huge supporter. We appreciate it. He's don't read this. It says beer for Rick. We're gonna have to buy you a beer now. We'll have to get that next beverage for you. Somebody else just offered to buy a beverage, so thank you so much. Today, what did you see out on the course? We talked about some of the technical challenges that we were faced with. Of course, you did perfect. I blame it all on Johnny. We all just blame Johnny. But what did you see out on the course? What was it like not having me talking in your ear the entire day?
It was phenomenal. No. It was good. I could hear a little bit of you and Robert in the background, with Johnny V directing us where to go and things like that. And I thought it went fairly smooth. I don't see what's going on with the live stream, things like that, so I just kind of just point my camera and do what I can. And from the feedback I've heard, just even being here tonight, that it was pretty good. I mean, and tomorrow's going to be better because we've already adjusted a few things on our side. And
all right. You might need some of this. I might have to share some of this.
That's a little light for me because I like the dark stuff.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and what we did see out there today, some great play. Of course, we're going to see a couple of those guys on the lead card now tomorrow. They're still showing a replay, actually. What's it like right now out here on the actual TVs here at Bourbon Cowboy and possibly around the entire city?
Maybe the world.
Yeah, and the world.
Maybe.
They're showing work that you were out there doing today. How does that feel for you as someone who's been in video and dabbled in that for many years?
Just looking at the coverage now, been watching it all night, I'd probably grade myself with an A+, which really isn't different from any other tournament that I'm at. That's kind of the running joke that we do here. But yeah, I would say A+. It definitely looks A+ for me. Maybe Chad is like an A- or so. Gary, Gary's probably an A or A-.
Well, I want to send a quick shout out. Cody bought me my last beverage. Thank you so much, Cody. I appreciate it.
I think Paige was getting ready to come up here too.
I'm sorry?
Paige Pierce wanted to chat with you for a little bit.
I would love to talk to her.
She just did some karaoke. She did it with a group of girls. When the group of girls do karaoke together, they can't. You can't determine who's bad singing. I think that's why
they're all good.
Yeah, for sure.
Just assume they're all good. And again, let's just reiterate, Rick and myself, just want everyone to know out there, if there was at any point a full-blown mess up or screw up or anything to do with the broadcast today, there's one guy to blame, and he's 6'6", he's blonde, and his name's Johnny V.
Yeah.
So it's not Rick's fault, it's not my fault, it's not Robert's, no one else. Johnny V.
For sure.
Is Johnny V having too much of a good time?
I will say that I just bought him a drink, and when I went to hand it to him, he had said, "Oh, I just got one because I just bought one."
Oh, so he refused
for Simon as well. So yeah, no, he took my drink.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's double fisting for sure. Absolutely.
As some have pointed out, Johnny V, who maybe doesn't get out of the house as often as say myself or you, as we've been touring around. Johnny V's gonna get the full GBO experience here.
Yeah, for sure. He's enjoying himself.
Unfortunately, I got to share a room with that guy. All right. So we're going to get Paige in here soon.
I'm going to go see
I
if
also want to thank you. So for many that don't know, when we are on location like this, whether it's tonight or this week or in general, whenever I'm doing the nightly shows, someone like Rick or Chad frequently kind of help corral some of the guests that then step in and that we catch up with. So I very much appreciate him for all those reasons as well. So. All right. So who do we got? Anything else you need to talk about?
Go Sox. That's pretty much all I got. Sorry. Game 7, Celtics.
All right, buddy.
We'll do it.
Thank you.
I'll go get Paige and see if I can wrangle him.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Thanks, Smashies.
Thank you guys so much. Rick Hushane just turned 40 on Tuesday night. He's at the Glass Blown Open. I'm not sure the timing gets much better than that. Come to the Glass Blown Open, turn 40, and enjoy all of the action while we're here.
Yeah. All right, I think we're going to try to get Paige on here pretty soon. She promised after karaoke she'd be on here. They just did some karaoke song. I wasn't sure what it was.
I think it was really good.
It
all really good.
It was sure.
Yes, exactly.
So here's a question, as I've been asking quite a few people. You are tagged to do one karaoke song. You have to do it by yourself.
No.
No. Just
okay.
What do you pick? Like, you don't have to do it tonight. I'm just saying in general, like, you're forced to.
If me personally, if I was doing a solo karaoke song, which some may or may not be surprised by this.
And I want to hear out on the board some of the people out there. What's your one karaoke song you would pick out there?
Yeah. I would probably go with an old school favorite, late 80s, early 90s. I'd have to go Young MC, Bust a Move would most likely be the song of choice.
Okay.
How about you?
It's tough. You and I did karaoke in Japan.
Yep.
We did Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby.
Yep.
I think I think of 2 or 3 songs that I would love to do. I think the one that for me that would be the most fun, and it's not a great karaoke song, is Lisa Loeb's Stay. Because I know all the words for whatever reason. I don't even need to look at the karaoke. But if I wanted the most fun, I think I'd go Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes. I think that's a good crowd favorite. I think that gets everybody kind of singing along, rather as opposed to some of the stuff I've heard, like the guy who just did Devil Goes Down to Georgia, or I heard Tool earlier.
Yeah,
those are not good karaoke songs.
Yeah, I've done karaoke exactly 2 times in my life.
I've only done it once.
I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to guess where those happened. Twice in my life. Here's the hint. They happened at the same exact location.
Oh, I know that.
And a better hint, they happened 2 years apart. So I'll see if anyone's got a guess as to where that might be or when that went down. Twice in my life. And we'll see if anyone comes in with that. Zach Pajek says, I was just going to say Lisa Loeb Stay.
Yeah. It's such a random song, but you were there as one night when I serenaded a buddy of ours at After League, Ben Habanik.
Yep.
I don't know why, but that song sticks with me in my melon. I love I love the song, but I think it's fun to sing as a humorous song.
Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
That one. Action.
That's a good one that'll get the crowd going.
All right. So anyway, again, file this in the database. I tell you guys that a lot because I then can recycle or reuse these snippets that I'll use for trivia some other time. My first karaoke ever and also my second karaoke ever both took place Japan Open 2010.
Appropriate place.
And 2008, was with Valerie Jenkins, Justin Timberlake's Bringing Sexy Back, and 2010.
You did bring. I don't think I knew
Open.
that you did Bringing Sexy Back.
Japan Open.
That was
2008 and 2010. Those were my 2 karaokes.
No surprise, or not a no surprise, but Bringing Sexy Back was one of when I got married was the dance song that we did as a wedding group, which you were involved in as my best man, and you were there. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
And a couple of my other close high school friends. So,
right.
Evisceration Blake. One of the worst karaoke's I ever saw was one of the nights when you met. One of the first nights you hung out with your wife.
Ew.
It was at a place called Champs. It was Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by whoever sings that, and there was some guy on stage blitzed, just singing, like screaming into the mic, like "Let the bodies hit the floor." And I specifically remember in my melon sitting there while you chat with your wife Melissa, and I'm sitting there playing Wingman and just like, okay, whatever, and listening to this guy sing this. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that one ever again.
No.
All right, so we're going to get Paige Pierce in here, and we'll have a quick conversation with her, see what's going on. Of course, as you know, she's the leader after round 1. She has a 1-stroke advantage over Rebecca Cox.
I did promise Paige. I said, she's like, not long, right? I said, no, you just have to sit in.
She'll sit here as long as I tell her
and chat. I said, when you're done, drop the mic, Risley style, and walk off.
Yeah.
But So what did we get? I am in your spot.
There she is. That's what's important. We'll get that guy out of here. I'm gonna do what Paige does. I'm gonna finally pick up the mic. Everybody's been, because nobody else has been holding the mic, or I mean everybody else has been, and I've let it sit there. So now we'll be consistent. Hey Paige.
Hey Terry, Chair Bear.
How you doing?
If you will.
Oh, I will. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Let's get the basics out of the way right off the bat. You're the leader. One stroke advantage. Rebecca Cox. We were watching. We were showing the scores today, going back and forth. Kind of tell us about that round, because you guys were right neck and neck for a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it went like throughout the holes, but
Sure.
I knew I wasn't hitting many putts, at least as many as I wanted to. So it was kind of I couldn't really pull away.
Okay.
I couldn't finish a hole out, and I think closer towards the end I started hitting a couple more, and after I 3-putted on hole 14, I believe it was, 14. And then going out of bounds off the tee on 15, I was ready. I was like, give me some birdies. So
you finished eagle, birdie, and at one point, I think on hole 15, you were 2 down to Rebecca. We kept talking about your scores. I think she was at 3 under, you were at 1 under, and then you went eagle, birdie. She birdied hole 18, and you have the advantage. But walk us through those last 3 holes.
Like I said, I had just 3-putted, and then I misfired on 15, and we had a 3-card backup on 16. So I just kind of sat there and was kind of like a reset. Honestly, I didn't even talk about disc golf, think about disc golf, and just kind of hit reset basically. And when I got on 16 in practice, I came up about 55, 60 short, but on a good line. So I knew what disc to throw, and I knew I could throw it harder and rely on my bio defender and just kind of push it over the barbed wire fence on the right. And I knew I wasn't going to come up deep any chance. So I just threw it as hard as I could and got well inside the circle, actually probably like a 20-footer or so, and made the putt. And I actually didn't know it was a par 4. So it feels good. I mean, it was far. It was very far. I felt like I couldn't have thrown it any farther. So
That's awesome. And then that had to give you a little boost of confidence as you moved into 17, 18.
Can you guys
Jackie,
see
happy
her? This
birthday.
is
Get
Jackie.
in here.
You're not
this
leaving.
Is Jackie. Happy birthday. Get in here. Come on, everybody needs to see you. How you doing? Happy birthday. Anything to say? Come on. Give us
Tell Jackie she shouldn't leave right now.
You're not leaving, Jackie.
Not until that song. That song.
Do you know what it is?
I will go, as soon as this is done, I will go tell him to play it next.
Okay.
I promise. Pinky promise.
Hey, I gotta get some sleep.
No, she doesn't.
Sleep's important. We got a tournament going on here.
It's your birthday with 1,600 people to come watch.
That's true. It's always a festive. I love it when everyone comes to town. Yeah, it's like a double win. Birthdays, fun times, all that good stuff. Okay, that's fine.
Well, happy birthday. Thank you. All right, that's Jackie. Talked about her during the meeting last night, that she's the volunteer coordinator and celebrates a birthday this week, and just keeps everybody organized and on track. Also, is she your host for the week?
No.
Not this week, okay. But good friend, Jackie.
Yes.
All right, so momentum carried you into 17, 18. You finished strong. Game plan tomorrow. Where are you playing?
Oh, we play at Jones East.
Jones East.
Yep.
How do you feel about that course for regarding your game and everything?
I feel good about it. Honestly, it's just it's pretty similar as far as the shots you need to throw. It's just a little bit different distances and whatnot. So I'm just gonna be aggressive, throw a lot of defenders in these Kansas winds, and try to stay in bounds.
Talk just a little bit about how gorgeous it was out there for the conditions. We talked so much about weather. Great day for golf.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
a great weekend for it,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it was a great day. It was a little bit windy on a couple putts, but honestly, for what it could have been, I mean, it was great.
All right. So Jones, and then you finish at Peter Pan.
Yes.
How do you feel about playing the 3 courses?
I feel fine about it. I would prefer to play one course, but honestly, it's kind of nice to play these 3 completely different and have every shot possible thrown.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe explain real quick what it's like in terms of these 3 different courses. How are the styles of the courses?
Peter Pan's completely different than anything else. I think it's technical. There's some short shots, and there's maybe 3 par 4s, I believe. And yeah, lots of woods, and not a whole lot of out of bounds trouble, honestly. And the other 2, there are lots of par 4s, lots of out of bounds, lots of rope, and a lot more wind in play because the lack of trees.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else you want to share? I don't want to keep you too long. You've got golf to play tomorrow.
Thank you.
And you've got celebrating and friends, and this is just such an amazing atmosphere and environment. But anything you want to share with the world?
No, just thanks for watching. We really, really, really appreciate you guys watching. This is what's making our sport bigger. So thank you guys for covering disc golf always. I'm coming right now. This is my last question.
Go.
Okay, I gotta go.
Fun.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Paige Pierce, your FPO leader right now.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. We'll set that right there for a moment as she gets her hugs in. And how awesome, how amazing. Again, just the madness and the chaos. So much fun going on here. Paige Pierce getting in on the action, as she should be. And she's got a really difficult balance. She has so many friends here in Emporia. She has her sponsorship here in Emporia with the entire Trilogy and DD community here. But then also she's out here to be competitive and try to take down this national tour event. So Paige Pierce doing a lot of things, and
we did promise we promised her she'd be just on and off in under 5 minutes. She just wanted to say hi, and she's focused on her golf right now. She doesn't want to deal too much with the media. She wants to hang out with the people she's here with and enjoy GBO in general.
Wow, and that makes perfect sense. Lots of people walking by enjoying themselves here at Bourbon Cowboy. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully everything's sounded all right and looked all right. We're doing the best with what we've got here. Tomorrow night, we're going to be coming to you from the Swedish Bonfire. I know we talked about it earlier. They've had to move it. They transitioned from the Dynamic Disc Distribution Center.
That was awesome years ago.
Moved it to the fairgrounds.
Behind the warehouse, this huge bonfire that we used to see, and now we don't quite get that.
No, there'll still be a bonfire.
No, it'll still be a huge bonfire, but
tomorrow.
not behind the distribution center or the warehouse, as you say.
Correct.
It's going to be somewhere else. So I'm hoping to find a way tomorrow that we can show our viewers the bonfire as well.
Yeah, we'll find some action. Maybe we'll have to swing a camera around or get an extra camera or two running for you guys so you can check out and see what's going on. Swedish Bonfire, that's actually something that they do annually over there in Sweden. And of course, with the connection to Latitude 64 and all of the international manufacturing, and Tomas and Dave Berglund and so many others out here, it's pretty awesome. So.
Someone's asking, I haven't watched in a while, how many pounds has JVD gained? Yeah, Scott Elam's calling me out.
There you go, Scott.
A few. I'm not going to lie. In the past, I don't know when the last time you watched Scott. Used to be a Smashy all the time. Shout out to you, Scott.
He's about up 54 pounds, actually.
This weekend. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know how it happened, but I just blew it out.
All right. Cool One says, are you covering live the Beaver State Fling?
Impossible.
Until... ideally Verizon puts a tower at Milo McIver State Park. We're not going to be covering that event live anytime in the future.
What if I rent you a satellite truck, Terry?
If you've got $100,000 that purchases a satellite truck and cabling to run, and you run it all around the 2 courses at Milo, then we could bring you live coverage.
So you're saying you need a satellite truck to show up with a cell tower, backhaul a fiber connection to the course to hook up to that satellite tower.
Then I need a new laptop.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'll just throw that one in there.
Unfortunately, Beaver State Fling is never an option for us. Not as long as it's at Milo and Kyver, which, as we've always said, we would rather have the events play at a great course and not have us there than play at a mediocre. Oh, thank you, Rick. than have a bad course with a good cell signal. We want to see the best players play at the best courses with the best golf.
All right. So, do we have anyone else out there that I need to talk to?
I don't believe so. Everyone I've seen.
You should go do a loop.
I've done so many loops, Terry. So many loops.
Are you getting dizzy?
Not yet.
From doing loops?
Not yet. You say.
No.
Okay, I'm not
we don't need
it.
that.
No. I'm hoping we get. Now, I'll say this. Usually, this is the type of place we get Jeremy Rusko. After he's had a few, he likes to sit down and maybe break a story or two for us. But I think.
Where's Rusko?
I don't know if he's still here, but he was here earlier.
Somebody needs to drag him by his ears over here.
Hey, Rick.
All right. Well, we'll see. We may or may not get Jeremy Rusko, or we may get some others. If not, we're going to be wrapping things up.
Is Jeremy Rusko
still here? We're going on
here?
actually 2 hours, which time has flown.
Okay, we think Jeremy Rusko left.
Pretty quick.
So hopefully we'll get Rusko here on another night. Jeremy likes to join the podcast, talk about the GBO, all the good. There's not much bad here. All the good, the great, whatever. I'm hoping that in the next night, I've talked with Zoe and Dustin tonight quite a few times, that we're hoping to get them on a little bit later this week. This is their first GBO as a DD-sponsored player.
And we have not seen them as much as usual on the tour over the last few months, so it would be great. Seth, you're late to the party. We already did talk to Rick Houshane. We already had a conversation with him as well, so you're going to have to rewind, buddy. All right, well, then with that, I think we can go ahead and close things out.
I think so.
I have to use a restroom anyway, so the timing is perfect. I want to go ahead and say thank you. Many of you, if you're logged in now or you're listening in the afterness of it all, I know many of you are very patient with us. You understand that when we're doing things like the live broadcast, we're doing everything we can to bring you the best possible broadcast. Everything doesn't go right or perfect every single time, and we'll only grow and improve and fix challenges moving into future days. And we want to put out the best possible product that we can. So if you're supporting us in any way, even just by watching, whether it's Patreon or by just watching and sharing the link and letting other people know you're watching, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. It's been a great night. I can't remember everyone we had. We had a lot of great guests here tonight.
Are we going to get you on the mechanical bull?
Are we going to get me on the bull? I don't know about that. Probably not.
If so, you'll find it on Patreon.
We'll see. Who knows about that? Blake, happy birthday yesterday. We appreciate that. Happy birthday to you, buddy. All right, so that's all we've got for Johnny V and Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, along with every one of our guests that stepped in here tonight. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you guys for watching and participating, for giving us your chats, giving us your super chats, your Patreon support, and beyond. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to come back to you tomorrow night from the Swedish bonfire. We'll have some more guests. They'll probably be different ones, and we'll probably have different crazy stories to talk about then. For now, I'm Terry Miller, the disc golf guy with Johnny V. We'll see you next time when you step inside the Smash Box.